Y'all give me just 1 second. I am getting this shared out to a few folks. There we go. All right. So today, just doing some plant care here in the house. Getting some of these dried up leaves off so they can quit taking up energy from the rest of the plant. They're already on their way out. They serve no purpose anymore. I think I'm gonna put this one in a different decorative pot as well. And I'm gonna show y'all a little something about when it comes to decorative pots. Because I know a lot of people have this thing where they want to automatically just put a plant straight into a decorative pot that has no drainage, and we can't do that because doing that will cause water to just sit in the bottom, and the next thing you know, you have root rot. So I'll always keep, you see how I just took it out of this previous pot right here? I'll always keep the plant in a nursery style planter that has the holes in the bottom, okay? And so that allows excess water to drain out. It allows air to get in. It keeps those roots from just sitting and getting soggy in the water. It's good stuff, really. Because see, I've got this cutesy little pot right here. All right? And so instead of just taking the plant out of the nursery style pot, I'm keeping it in there and dropping it right there in that little cutesy pot. Hey, Chi-Chi. Hey, stop. All right, we up in here. Look, Chi-Chi, get your son on here too. Mine is watching. we're bringing in all the family for this. It's a family affair. Sipping my ceremonial cacao. It's a vibe. Got our little lo-fi going in the background. We just vibing out today. Period. Okay, and so here's another trick, because I talk about bottom feeding a lot. And what that is taking the water, putting it in the tray or in the bottom of your, unless they're watching. What do you mean, unless they're watching on your device? So yeah, we're putting the water into the receptacle that the nursery style potter sits in. Whether it's your pot like this that doesn't have any drainage, or one of the little plastic ones, okay? Or count this. Oh yeah, he's 19. Yeah, he's an adult. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, I have my settings to not for kids on here. So my stuff shouldn't be showing up on any accounts for the littles. Yeah, this one's for my adult son on here. Yep, we're good. We are good. And so with the bottom watering, look, because I know you said you had some issues with keeping plants alive. So I need you to listen to me. No, But with the bottom watering, the bottom feeding, okay, what that's doing is it's keeping that top layer nice and dry so that it's less appealing for fungus gnats and any other critters that like to put their eggs in that top moist layer of soil, okay? And then it's also getting the water just directly to where they're needed at, and that's with the roots. And they can absorb that water over the next couple days. I wouldn't let any water sit any more than like 2 days, okay? If the plant hasn't absorbed it in 2 days, I'm gonna say go ahead and just pour it out, okay? Because once again, we don't want that root rot. I'm also going to go ahead and give this plant some TLC using some of the Southside Leafy Plant Food. And we do carry this in the shop. Like I said, just about everything in the shop is stuff that I use personally and love and figure that other people would too. Super easy. With this food right here, you can use it every time you water the plants and it's not gonna burn them, okay? I know some foods will say, oh, wait every 6 weeks or something like that before you feed it again. I can barely remember last week, so those types of foods are not gonna work for me. So I just need a simple one where I use the little scoop. It's just one little scoop for every liter of water, okay? You saw I just put it straight into here, and I'm gonna put my plant right on in there. And now it's fed. That's how simple it is. And this plant food right here is excellent for any of those plants where the leaves are the star of the show, like this one here. Okay, if you're noticing that your plant's leaves aren't getting as full, like as big as they could be, or if the color isn't as vibrant as they could be, okay, for that particular plant, this food is going to be excellent for those. Or if you're noticing that the plant just hasn't been growing much at all, okay, this is also going to be really good. It contains a beneficial fungus in there, plus some magnesium, calcium, amino acids, okay, all of which are going to help your plant thrive. And it works very quickly, which I love. And it's also food safe. So if you're somebody who grows, your own food, you can absolutely use this in there and you won't be poisoning yourself. So that's lovely. It's quite lovely. And I'm actually going to hang this one on my little bar behind us here. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the little twine style hanger. What are you up to right now, friend? Are you working right now? Or are you just vibing out? I love my planty babies. I'll probably be on here for a couple hours just vibing out. Ooh, let's see if I can get it back in there. Hold on, I'm having a hard time. I gotta be smarter than the twine, you guys. Let's see. There we go. I think I got it now. Drove to work, got here, realized that I'm wearing my flip-flops. Oh my, oh my gosh. Oh no. Did the patient see you already? Or are you just like, you noticed before you got out the vehicle or before you got to the front door? That is hilarious. There we go. And so now it's ready to hang and thrive. And this bar that I have right here is actually on the Mama Woo TT shop, on the affiliate page, not the Not the naturally you one. This thing is sad. Look at that. So this is the thing about the prayer plants. If they're sad, they're dramatic and they will let you know. Okay. And it's crazy because I'm going to water this, right? And by the end of the day, these leaves are going to unravel. This is one where I've literally been able to like look at it and see movement. It's a very dramatic plant. Very, very dramatic plant. Let me slide that to the side there. You said, because today's a no scrubs day. I'm not seeing patients. So I just had what I wore for my live this morning. Gotcha. A no scrubs day, huh? Is that something to like make it more like homey type like for them? Like less formal, more comfortable for them? Use my little handy dandy shears. We also have these in the shop, ergonomic shears. Like I said, a bunch of it in there is just an extension of what I like to use at home. Everything from the incense to the personal care products to our plant care products that we have in there. No, which just means I'm doing administrative work. I'm not seeing patients today. Not in the morning anyways. I'll see them in the evening with the second job. Oh, I thought you were only doing the second one on Tuesdays for some reason. You nurses work so hard. Kudos to you, for real. My mom is right there with you. She's a RN, an ER nurse at that. And I just, oof, hats off to y'all, for real. That takes a special kind of heart and a special kind of oomph. Got a little extra in that one because it was really, really dry. That was really dry. This one doesn't quite need any food yet. It's a fairly new baby. So that soil and everything is pretty fresh. Oh, hold on. Going back. Straight up. All right, there we go. He said, yeah, I don't know a nurse that doesn't work 2 jobs at least or work too much at the one. Exactly. And she used to do the travel nursing, and it's amazing just how much of a need there is for you guys across the country. No matter where you go, you guys can get a job. You guys put in that work, but I mean, I can imagine that just as hard as it is, that the reward is great as well. Because you're really like having such a big impact on people's lives. And that's priceless, you know? Okay, let me show you one of my planting babies that died. Well, I think it's on its way out. I think there's still, I might be able to revive it. I'm gonna show. Okay. I still have hope because there's some green, and then this root, I think if I use some growth hormone, I think it has a chance. This was the other one that was with it. I think this one has more of a chance. It's got a little more green on there, but this root still looks okay. Like I might be able to do something with it. We're gonna see. It's of my hat goes out to travel nurses. I can't do it. They're constantly in hostile territory because the local nurses don't want to help because of the income difference. Yeah, that was something that she was running into. But a lot of them wanted her to stay too. Yeah, a lot of them wanted her to stay, but she ended up going ahead with Kaiser because they have chosen to take really good care of her, and so she went ahead and settled in with them out there in California. And yes, I'm excited for you to be able to go live too. I was looking and it may take up to like a week to update. So hopefully by next week you should be good to go. She said, yes, the plan is to eventually convert them over to a regular employee, but when you're working sometimes more than twice as much, 3 times as much. Right. Yeah. You're right. Let me see. I want to try. I got this new little. Look at this. How freaking cute is it? Hold on. Look at this. And it's got a little spider web. I'm gonna see if I can save that plant. I don't know. This one might be too deep actually. That one's probably too deep for that little bitty root. I'm gonna find another one. Hold on. Just emptied out one the other day here. There we go. We'll play with this one. Oop, I'm making a mess. Really? Oh, you said, yeah, I figured that it was because my account is so new. I'm good. I'll just keep posting the videos. Another thing that I saw them saying is that they want to see like activity from you to make sure that you're not like a bot. So, but I mean, you've been doing stuff on there. You've been like commenting and things like that. So maybe after they see it over a little bit of time, they'll trust you. Get that dead leaf out of there. I'm just gonna propagate in this. And so to propagate, you just need a couple of the nodes to be submerged in the water. And so I'm just going to clean that off a little bit so I can see exactly where the nodes are. And with the root growth hormone, we're going to see roots grow out of here. Roots are going to come out of this one. And then we'll also see some come out of the nodes that you see on this plant here. I needed to put that one in a little more shallow of a bowl. Shoot, maybe even smaller than this one, to be honest. I don't know if I have a smaller one, because this one might tip over. I don't know. We can try it. Honestly, I think that slightly larger one is going to be the survivor. Because this thing, look, I'm over here. I'm really, I'm doing the most, trying to save that. Let me see if I can find an even smaller container. Hold on. So I'm back away from that. All right, we're gonna try a super small one for this. This one's really starting from the bottom again. It was so pretty. While I was in the hospital with my son, that's when it took the hit. But I'm gonna try to revive it. I'm gonna try. Oh no, okay. So that small one just broke off. I'm pretty sure there's nothing to, yeah. Okay, we're gonna just trash that piece. I tried. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this one in here with a little bit of water. I'm gonna submerge the root and then another note that's on there. I know some folks would be like, girl, just let it go. But I cannot. This one was so cute. It was one of my pink ones. And I was really sad when I got back from the hospital with him. And it was like, I was fussing. I said, y'all let my plants die. Like, where is the love? You know what I'm saying? Let me find some of the rooting hormone here. My little handy dandy stash. Hold on, let me pull up my little bin. It's either in this one or my other one. Rooting hormone, where are you? Where art thou? Hold on. Not sure why I can't find my rooting hormone. Hold on, let me look one more place. I usually keep everything right here, so it's a little strange. Let's see. Get over there, son. Get over there. No, that way. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Thank you for keeping that chat moving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what? Let me share this. I didn't put this out like I should have. I'm just on here vibing anyways, but you know. The more the merrier. I didn't share it in Discord or anything. I just hit the button. I wonder if I took it to the shop. That's really strange. Well, I guess it's not getting any of the hormone today, but I'll go ahead and just put a little bit of the food in it. Because this one here, the Grow Queen, one is good for hydroponic system, so I'll just give it a little love. Cheers to the little root that could. Let's see what happens. That's too funny. Oh my goodness. This one's gonna go in the windowsill. Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you. Oh my gosh. Take a little sip. Look, that little root deserves a sip. All right, I'll put a plant into that one later. And actually, let me pour this water into a different plant. I don't want to waste that. Let me show you this one that I have by the camera. Thank you. So one thing that I did learn, because I was like curious about the whole co-hosting feature. Apparently only the main host, like the initial host or whatever, gets the watch hours for that. I think that's a little bit different from how TT does it. Look at this one. Little furry leaves. Hold on, let me get a little closer to you. They're like fuzzy. You can kind of see the white fuzz when I turn it at a certain angle. Yeah, you can do just 2 people in the screen, but only the initiating host gets credit for it. I need some more steaks. Ugh. Because this bad boy, look at it. It's keeps on falling over. Let me see if I have a spare one. A spare one that's not being used by another plant. No, it looks like I may have to just invest in some more. Yeah, but ideally we want this like straight up and down. I just need a good stick. Let me double check my stash again. Make sure I don't have any hidden steaks. Right here. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm borrowing this one here from another plant. But before I put it in the new one, I'm gonna put a little bit of alcohol on there. I always do that when I'm bringing things from one plant to another. Just a little sanitizing that I like to do. Avoids the unintentional transfer of the unknown. See, there we go. There we go. And I need to go ahead and secure the plant to the stake. And what I like about the Velcro is that it's really easy on the stems. I used to use the zip ties. Okay, I got you, Chi Chi. Yeah, I used to use the zip ties. But then as the plants grew, I realized that it was hurting them. So I've moved to the Velcro, which is a lot more gentler, yet still effective. And then you can also move them around easily. Like with the zip ties, you had to, cut them off. They'd be digging into the stems, damaging the plant. But the Velcro is nice and soft. It's reusable. There we go. My little begonia is happy again, instead of laying all over the place. There we go. All right, let's see which one we're playing with next. I see a sad one. I've been really busy lately, and sometimes that happens. So it's just real life plant care, Like this one here is on its way out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it off so that it's not wasting the plant's energy, okay? Don't be afraid to nip off those pieces that are on their way out. There's no saving them. Not when they're like that. You're better off just getting rid of what's holding the plant down so that the new fresh leaves can come through and actually serve their purpose, I'd say the same thing applies in real life. I need another stand because look, see how this one falling over like that? Really, it should be stand straight up and down. These ones are so pretty. Look at the underbelly. Isn't that beautiful? I love alocasias. I'm also going to give this one a little wipe down with some of the plant wipes. Told y'all the same thing that we have in the shop is what I'm using at home because they work. And when now when it comes to the plant wipes, I know some people are like, oh, well, why would you need to wipe down a plant's leaves? It's a plant. Well, plants are meant to be outdoors, okay, not inside. And so when they're inside, they'll accumulate dust like the rest of a house would, right? But the thing is that when there's dust on their leaves, they can't properly photosynthesize, okay? And you're gonna end up with a plant that's not growing to its full potential, because if it can't properly photosynthesize, it's not going to absorb as much water as it could, nor as much food as it could. Okay, so you're gonna end up with slowed growth, smaller leaves, less vibrant colored leaves. All right, so you just wanna keep everything nice and fresh so the plant can have that optimized photosynthesis. Super dusty on the bottom there. And I live in Arizona, so we've got a lot of dust. A lot of dust here. Yeah, I definitely need to get some more stakes. Oh, another thing when it comes to these, because I'm about to throw this one away, I use one wipe per plant. Same thing as with the stake, okay? I'm avoiding any accidental cross-contamination. All right, so we're going ahead and tossing that. But seriously, with these wipes that we carry in the shop, you get 80 per pack. So that's 80 different plant cleanings you can do, okay? And they also contain neem oil, which is gonna help keep the little critters, okay, from being attracted to your plants. They do not like neem oil. And it's safe. Yep, it is safe for people, safe for pets, safe for the plant. Get that little water because it's dry. I got a little gnat trying to play in my face right now. And look, that's why I should be bottom watering. That's exactly why I should be bottom watering. That gnat just reminded me of that. It's a little too late now. It's all right. I'm gonna bring it on out, okay? You see? Nursery style planter in the pot. And I'm actually gonna put some food in this one too. It's about time for this one. For those who missed it earlier, super easy. Just take one little scoop. And actually that was probably too much because you only need 1 scoop per liter of water. Okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and pour my water in that base right there. Remember, when you are using those planter pots that do not have drainage, all right, you can go ahead and put your water food mixture in the bottom and then place your plant that's in its nursery style pot right in there. Okay. We're gonna revisit this one after I buy some more steaks. Because that one should definitely be sitting up. All right, we're gonna bring over our Mammy Croton next. I love this plant because of the colors that it generates. I love color. Okay, and so as fun as the green is, I find a lot of joy in those natural hues of red, orange, yellow, pink. Okay, they really help to liven up a space. I'm gonna go ahead and this is another self-watering planter. I love these because it, honestly, I'm very busy, okay? And so I need for my plants to be able to sustain for a little bit longer on their own, because I'm not there like in their face every day, okay? Once upon a time I was a hoverer. It didn't work, okay? Because there is such a thing as overwatering. There is such a thing. And so that's what was happening. And so now I chill out. I walk through, I'll look at them, just pay attention to their behavior. There's a lot of, see if there's a lot of leaves dropping. I'm checking the color, okay? Some of them are pretty dramatic and they'll do this whole little like, I'm so thirsty type of thing, okay? And just like the prayer plant, those leaves will curl right on up like a little cigar when they're thirsty, okay? So if you're somebody who needs visual cues for your plant care, prayer plant is definitely gonna be your jam. Those peace lilies are also very dramatic. They'll look practically like they're gone, okay? Everything just drooped over. But within 15 minutes of watering them, they're back up happy again. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Yeah. Somebody, I'm not gonna say who, claims that I'm dramatic like a peace lily. Whatever. I'm gonna wipe down this plant too. This plant's leaves, they're a little dusty. It's a Mammy Croton plant. the top side and the bottom side, because even if the bottom is not dusty, remember that these have the neem oil on there. And so we're using this as natural pest repellent. Okay, so we're making sure we get all the nooks and crannies on the plant. And really, it just makes everything so much more vibrant, especially when they have those colorful leaves like that. It allows that color to pop. Look at the bottom of that one. So pretty. What is that, friend? Welcome in, everyone. Who all do we have in the room with us? Y'all being quiet today. I know usually we're at the storefront, but I just wanted to hang out with you guys today while I do my plant care at home. Hold on one second. Let me share this to one place. I think it's gonna go, I don't know, it might pause for you guys. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. And I'm back. Thank y'all for vibing out with me as I just hang out and do my little plant care. This is a growing YouTube channel, so if you have not yet subscribed, I encourage you to. Oh, thank you. But get back over there, honey, out of the camera. I don't like having my little people on camera. There we go. So nice and cleaned up. We've got that water filled up on the self-watering planter. I'm gonna put this baby back on over here. This shelf that I have is actually on my affiliate page on TT. It's on the Mama Woo page, and it actually has some grow lights that come with it. So it's nice and sturdy, very functional, where you can hold a bunch of different plants on there, plus the grow light. It's been a lifesaver. I love it. Hello, welcome in, welcome in. Where's everybody joining us from? Y'all give me 1 second. I need to grab a paper towel, okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think some people just feel like chilling out and watching today, and that's fine. If y'all don't mind just hitting that like button, it'd be most appreciated. And all the taps are helpful too. We are working towards monetization, so if you have not subscribed, please hit that button. All right, I've got a little baby begonia growing in this one. It's not thirsty. It's actually got some water in there. I couldn't tell at first. Oh no, I know you're working. I know you're working. It's all good, friend. It's all good. Let me cut this one off here. We're cutting off what is no longer serving the plant. Has zero reason to stay there. Just like in life, if something's not serving you, cut it off. All right. This one's all right. It's just there being a little baby. We're going to put it back over there underneath the grow light. Continue getting this little grow on. All right. And we're going to go ahead and do it. This is another croton. Love, love, love the colors. The more light that you give these ones, the more vibrant colored the leaves will be. And this planter that I have right here, oh no, you fell off the porch. Oh no. This planter that I have is one of the naked root planters. Okay. I love them, by the way. I will say that the smaller ones, the little, I think it's like 2 or 3 inch ones, they don't retain enough water for me. In my mind, I think that, you know, once I'm using a self-watering planter that I've got a few days, but it tends to get used up really, really quickly in the smaller ones. So I tend to stick with the, I think it's 6 inch, the 6 and the 8 inch ones. And those have been really, really good to me. Just a little heads up for anybody who is interested in those naked root planters. I would love to be able to get some in the shop one day, but we don't carry them yet. I'm not sure that they've even made it available for people to carry in stores, but once they do, I'm gonna be all over it, all over it. Give me 1 second, let me grab some more water here. And with these, we can just put the water in the bottom. It has a little fill line so that you don't put too much and have things overflowing when you go to put the plant back in there. So that's really handy. This plant is due for a feeding, so I'm going to go ahead and just add some of that leafy plant food from Southside into the base. Guys, I'm telling you, this one is so easy. And we do, I think we have like 2 more in the shop right now. But I'm going to go ahead and get us some more orders so we can keep those shelves stocked with it. It just works so well, and it's so easy. Once upon a time, I didn't think that I was capable of keeping plants alive. But once I found products that made it really easy for me, I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and just, let me indulge, okay? And it turns out I have a green thumb. Didn't realize it until right around when my grandmother passed. She had a green thumb that I was always like, oh man, I wish I could do that too. And now I am. She'd be proud. She would be proud. These leaves do need to wipe down. So we're breaking out our handy dandy neem plant cleaning wipes, right? Because we're doing the anti-pest care and making sure that the leaves are nice and clean so that the plant can properly photosynthesize. I pretty much always have to use these. Hey, Papa Wu Main. I always have to use these like whenever I set my plants outside. Because it's so, like, I be thinking I'm doing this great thing by putting them, you know, outside to get some rainwater. They get so dusty out here in Arizona. So now I mostly just put out bowls to catch the rainwater, and then I'll bottom water using that rainwater. But yeah, pretty much every time I put them out there just straight up to catch the rainwater, they end up so dusty, and I'm having to wipe down all the leaves all over again. Look at the bottom of this one. Let me show you. Isn't that crazy? Plants are so dope. How's work going? Papa Wu Main? Oh, hold on, I missed a leaf. I missed a leaf. I know everybody's working right now. They're probably like, why is she going live so early? But look, I'm just finna get these YouTube watch hours in. For those who don't know, the monetization requirements are changing come February 1st. But those who are monetized prior to then get grandfathered in under the current requirements. So I'm trying to meet those current requirements right now before it gets harder from February 1st, all right? So y'all finna see me on here just vibing out. We're gonna be doing plant care. We may be dressing candles one day, making spiritual baths the next, okay? We up in here. We up in here, y'all. 1 second, let me grab a little peperomia that's down here looking a little sad. So peperomias, they're actually really easy care plants. So if you're somebody who is not very confident in your plant care abilities yet, get you a peperomia. They are excellent because they don't require a whole bunch of water. The way that the leaves are, okay, the way that they're made or the way that they grow, helps them retain water on their own for quite some time. So very low maintenance. And then they don't need a whole bunch of sunlight. Okay, so if you have like a bathroom that has moderate lighting, they'll survive just fine in there. And some of them come in some really pretty colors that will help brighten up your space. We've got quite a few plants in the bathroom. It's almost like, I don't know, like a little classy forest bathing experience in there. And this one is due for a feeding. So let me go ahead and give it some of the leafy plant food. You see how many of these different plants I'm able to use this plant food on, which is another reason why I love it. If it's hard, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, period. When it comes to plant care, if it's hard, I'm not gonna do it. And so I need those simple things that I can use on multiple types of plants and call it a day. We're also gonna trim some dried babies off of this one. We got some dried leaves on there. That one pulled right on off. He's working too, Cheese, so he probably in and out just like you. I was chatting with somebody the other day, Chi, who was talking about having a trucking company business. I'm like, is there something in the air right now? Is there something in the air with everybody wanting to have a trucking business? They were saying to definitely take the price of gas into accountability. And I guess retaining drivers is a pretty tough thing right now for some reason. I don't know what that's all about. You said easy money? You said you got to go talk to Frank? Now, does he just drive, or does he have other people who drive for him too? Or is that what y'all trying to get started up, having other people drive? You said my son's about to be put in truck driver school. You said he finna do something, right? Look, I heard that. All right, and these other ones, they're not oof. They just a little sad from needing water, but they'll pop right on up after the roots absorb all this good stuff down here. He has drivers. Oh, okay. That's what's up. I love it. one here took a pretty big hit too while we were in the hospital, and I never stopped to give it more TLC. It's just now getting it. And I've got 3 leaves left on there, which is really sad, but it's okay. It's okay. Look, I'm here. I'm going to show y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? Because when my baby was in the hospital, my big baby, that was the last thing I was worried about, was watering some plants. So some of them are still recovering. Is he interested in driving trucks, Chi-Chi? You know what? I'm trying to debate if I'm going to keep this one. I've got one that's like half alive, half dead. I might let it chill just a little bit longer since there's only 2 on that piece. And then I've got like a little baby trying to grow up. So I'm going to let that continue to do some photosynthesis type work, so we can get that little baby going. I'm pretty sure once the baby sprouts up good, that leaf will probably be gone, just naturally. He said, yes, I'm the one that's dissuading him, but I want him to finish his HVAC training first. I love how you're encouraging him. Love it. You're in a meeting? Okay. All right. It's all good. I'm really just here chilling. I didn't even expect anybody to be on right now. So thank you for just being there and vibing out with me. Put some food in that one. This is one of the self-watering plant or potters. So I'm adding everything in the bottom. Put the plant back in there and let it do its thing. Put a little rose quartz in it. Infuse the energy with some love. Ugh. I'm gonna bring over my little bonsai plant. This one here is from Africa. It's from Madagascar, to be exact. And with the way they wired it, they made it so that it like does this little loopy type thing. So we'll give this one some TLC. I probably need to give it a little trimming soon, but it's all good for now. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that in there because that's about 1 liter of water. Need 1 little scoop of the leafy plant food per liter of water. Let me mix it up a little bit, give it a little shake. Water the bonsai. Bonsais are so high maintenance, especially out here in Arizona where it gets dry. They dry out so quickly. So it is really almost like a daily type of check-in that you have to do with them. Oh, and it's pouring out the bottom. And that's another thing, because self-watering planters, when it comes to the bonsais, like the most you're going to get out of most of them is going to be a little tray that doesn't hold a lot of excess water. Give it a little wipe down. All right, and we'll put that one back on over in its little happy place. I try to avoid relocating my plants too often, especially if they're happy in a certain area where they're receiving You know, just the right amount of light. Like, why change it? You know what I mean? Hold on one second. Let me clear this little tray here. I'm actually going to pour the excess water from the tray into the bottom of the planter. There we go. This one here that I'm working on now is called a begonia black magic. Isn't that beautiful? I need to get some more stakes because it's getting kind of tall and starting to hang over. But those leaves are absolutely gorgeous. Begonias are some of my favorite plants. They come in so many different varieties. All right, let's go ahead and, oh wait, I put the food in there already. Hold on, let me go ahead and add more water. Peace and profits from Northern California. Welcome in, Feel Good Year. How you doing today? We're just on here vibing out. I'm doing some of my weekly plant care and decided to just go ahead and hit that button and share with you guys. I don't want it to be where every single live is just, you know, selling things from the shop. Although I do, you know, incorporate a lot of education. I like to just kind of chill with you guys here at home, showing some of my daily living. More cases. Take care of those children. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got to. If we don't, who will, you know? Next one looks a little sad. It is bone dry, but I haven't lost any leaves off of there, so we're good. We're good. Look at that one. The pinks and the yellows. I love a good colorful plant. They add so much life to a space. What do you do, Feel Good Year? We've got Chi Chi, who is a hospice nurse in here. We've got Papa Wu Main, who does inventory management. What do you do for a living? Share with the class. Who else do we have on? Uh-oh, I'm running out of water on this one. I filled up a few little pitchers because I figured these things were gonna be dry. Hey, Smiling, how you doing this morning? Oh, well, afternoon for you. You had a 24-ounce Red Bull and 2 cigarettes for breakfast. Hey, breakfast of champions. Breakfast of champions. How you feeling today? You said occupation being cute. Okay. Look, I see you. Oh my goodness. All right, let me add some more water because I need just a teeny bit more so this plant can stay happy for a good week and a half without me having to do too much. Yeah, I am the queen of easy. I'm a little extra, okay? But I like for all my extraness to be easy. That's why I need it easy, so I could be extra. Oh my goodness. And these self-watering planters are such a help when it comes to making things easy. I need to wipe down some of these leaves though, so we're breaking out some of the neem plant cleaning wipes again. You going out? You leaving the house today smiling? Or are you just gonna relax? Relax inside. The heat here is just so miserable to me. I can't wait for fall to come. For those who are not familiar with what I'm doing, I'm using some neem oil plant cleaning wipes. These are from the Southside brand. I do carry these in the shop because I love them so much. So you're gonna see a lot of things that are in the shop here in my house because they work really well. And that's really what inspired me to even bring them into the shop. The fact that they work for me, so I know they work for you guys too. And yeah. And y'all know I love, you gotta run errands. Awesome. Yep, get out the house a little bit. Look, keep that circulation moving. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I really want you to invest in one of the little small handheld massage guns. I think that would be really beneficial to you. They have them for a pretty good price at like Ross and Marshall's. It's not bad. When I was experiencing some circulation issues, that's when I went ahead and invested in one. But now that that's passed, I just like to use it on my legs, like to help with reducing the appearance of cellulite. Because a lot of times all that is the some of those adipose cells are not getting the proper circulation that they need, and so getting that movement going with the massage gun helps them get more circulation and plump up, and reduces any of them black-eyed peas that be trying to pop up as we age. So yeah, they're good for a lot of things on top of just sore muscles. And get you one of them, girl. They only be like $15. 15 oil hairs. You'll use it. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. I do it on like a lower setting. Do it on a lower setting. But yeah, it does help with reducing cellulite, or the appearance of it. It's that circulation moving. I'm drinking some ceremonial cacao too. That's good for circulation. All right, I think we're good to go with dusting this off. So for those who are like, why is she dusting a plant? If the plant's leaves are dirty, they can't properly photosynthesize, they're not going to absorb as much water or food as they can. They're not going to get big and luscious and vibrant colored. And look, if they're not absorbing water, think of it like this, okay? If your plant is not absorbing as much water as it should be, but you're steady watering, and then it's just sitting in that water, you're on the road to root rot, okay? So you want to keep the plant healthy, keep all of its systems working correctly, so that you don't run into any of those issues. Because root rot is a beast, y'all. One of my favorite methods when I do discover root rot is I'll just use some shears, okay, to cut off the parts that are not salvageable, okay, and then usually I have my root drops here. I don't know where I set them down, which is really weird because I keep all my plant stuff right here. But yeah, I'll use some of the root drops, which is a rooting hormone in them, to help the roots get, more robust so that they can better support the plant. And I'm sorry, before I do that, I make sure that I rinse those roots in just like a mixture of alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, with some water and dish soap, okay? Rinse the roots off really good, get all the yucky stuff off of them. and then you can go ahead, put them back in the growing medium, hook them up with some of the root drops like that we carry in the shop. It'll help the root system grow, and your plants will be back to health in no time. Look at that baby. Look at that happy baby. All right, let me put this one back on over there. I'm going to show you guys another begonia. You guys are going to see my love of begonias. I have so many different types. And it's crazy because I live in Arizona, right? But I have this love thing for tropical plants. And so you'll see I've got like the humidifier behind me. Got another humidifier on the other side of the house. I don't know, when it comes to like cacti and succulents, I can go outside and see those. So inside the house, I like for it to be like a little cute jungle in certain places. Like I have some over here by my workstation. Then there's some like when you first walk into the home, got some in a nice corner in the kitchen. And in the bathroom, it's like, I'm telling y'all, it's like forest bathing in like a little bougie setting. Super cute. But yeah, like they just bring so much warmth into a home, and they're really, really good for the air. I noticed once I started bringing more plants into the home, you know, I have horrible allergies for those who are not familiar with me, okay? My allergies, I'm allergic to all things Arizona. But it was like once I started bringing more plants into the home, my allergies were not as bad as before. And it was very noticeable, very noticeable. Snake plants are excellent for helping to clean the air. Pothos are easy care plants as well that are good for helping to clean the air. And just planting in itself is very grounding. Okay, so for anybody who is on the higher side of anxiety, that grounding, that touching of the dirt, okay, it's like you being able to transfer that energy that's a little too high vibrational, okay, into a neutral medium, all right? A lot of times that people have, you know, a lot of experience with anxiety, I'll encourage them, you know, go put your feet in some dirt, okay? But you can also, you know, use your hands in the dirt, or salt, but we're talking plants, right? And so there are actual benefits, like grounding benefits to gardening. And I honestly love that they're just this physical representation of our ability to have patience and to love and take care of something other than ourselves. Look how beautiful that begonia is. She'll perk up even more after I give her some water because she's like bone dry right now. But yeah, these ones right here, they like a lot of humidity. And so I keep them pretty close to the humidifier. But that does not replace watering. So let me let me make that happen. All right, we're gonna bottom water into the tray. I'm gonna put a little plant food in there too. So it's about time for this one. And for those who missed it earlier, the benefit of bottom feeding, bottom watering is that you're gonna keep that top layer of the dirt dry, and that makes it less appealing for like fungus gnats, or anything that likes to bump nasties and try to put its eggs in the top layer of your moist soil. If it's dry, they're gonna be like, that's not a good place for me to lay my eggs at, okay? So it is definitely a preventive measure for pest care. Okay, and so I put the food straight in there. I use the leafy plant food because once again, this is one of those plants where the leaves are the star of the show. Just remember that whenever you use the leafy plant food, okay, it's literally telling you those super leafy babies where, you know, you're not too worried about blooms or anything like that. Those can be fed using that same food. I've already used this just in this live alone, feeding so many different types of plants, and that's one of the things that I love about it is it's such a diverse, you know, plant food. I'm gonna go ahead and put the water in the bottom in that tray there. And I'm going to let the plant just soak up whatever it needs. And it'll have a little bit more to suck up over the next couple of days. I don't recommend just leaving a whole bunch of water just sitting around. If the plant hasn't absorbed it in about 2 days, go ahead and just toss the water out, okay? You don't want mosquitoes and things like that starting to get attracted to it. You don't want it to start, you know, getting slimy or anything like that. Just toss it on out. Give the plant a few days before watering again. Keep it simple, you guys. It doesn't have to be hard. It really doesn't. This one's fun. When I first started it, it was only 2. It only had 2 stalks. And so it's grown this third one, and it's becoming really full. I love me a good begonia, y'all. Especially that pink. How freaking pretty is that? And that's not like a dying pink, okay? That's a happy pink. That's a happy begonia pink. Speaking of, though, making sure that your plants are happy. One thing that I make sure I do when it comes to my plants is going to be labeling, okay? Because you see how I have a lot of them right here against the window. But say when the winter time comes, okay, even though it's Arizona, it's still, we get pretty chilly here to the point where, you know, if I have a tropical plant that doesn't like it being less than 70 degrees, okay, I need to move that plant. And so if you're, you know, if you have your plants labeled and have the information on them, such as, ooh, I'm over here making a mess, such as the name, the lighting requirements, the humidity and temperature preferences, okay, and any extra little tips for it, I put that on a label of some sort. On this one here, I just put it on a piece of tape because I was just being quick about it. But there are some where let me see. I have the little wooden labels. We also have some acrylic ones in the shop. Okay, and so they're really helpful for troubleshooting. All right, so if you're doing a little walkthrough and most of the plants are happy, and then you got one that's like being all dramatic, like it's gonna tap out, and you're like, what is wrong with you? Okay, at a minimum on that tag, you want to make sure that you have the plant's name. So if anything, you can just look up, you know, the care instructions and make sure you're giving it what it needs. But yeah, if you have everything there, the humidity requirements, you know, and it's looking a little sad, you'd be like, oh man, let me put it closer to a humidifier. Or if it's cold outside and it's a more tropical plant, we're going to move it away from a cold window and perhaps put it under a grow light that's, you know, away from that colder portion of the house. All right, so yeah, your labels are going to be very essential for troubleshooting when your plants aren't happy. I get a lot of questions like, oh, how often should you water them? How much light do they need? And I tell people that for each plant you need to make sure you look up the instructions, okay? Trying to treat 15 different plants the same is like trying to treat 15 different humans the same, okay? Somebody gonna be unhappy. And so you have to make sure that you're addressing all of their individual requirements. Even down to the soil, okay? I see tips sometimes where people are like, oh, put coffee into your plants to promote growth. That's not gonna work for plants that don't like acidic soil, okay? So you may indeed be harming some of your plants. And that's why I say make sure that you put, you know, any of those nuances on the label, okay? So if it loves coffee, you know, put a little note on there. This one loves coffee, you know, I drink coffee. Something cute, all right, so that you know. But yeah, you cannot treat all plants the same. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. All right, I think we got off all of the pieces that were on their way out. I've got one that's trying to hang on a little bit. Let me use the shears and trim that down. And using shears is gonna be good because just yanking the piece off, sometimes that'll like pull off a whole string of like tissue from the plant. And that's like creating a larger wound than necessary. So if you just have you some nice shears, okay, it'll have the minimum size incision. And it can go on about its business without having to re-heal itself or, you know, have an open wound that invites infection of any type, okay? Just like humans can get infected with an open wound, so can plants. So just keep that in mind that shears do have a purpose. We'll put that one back over there since it was happy in that spot with the lighting. All right, we're gonna move on to some of the other ones. I've got a lot of plants, so that one looks good. Pull off the dead piece and bring over a ring of fire, philodendron. This one is bone dry, but been holding on. It's been holding on, y'all. It's looking like somebody help me. All right, we about to get it right. Look at the variegation on that leaf. This one's crazy. All right. Another thing I'm gonna do is to wipe off my shears. Okay, because we do not want to, actually I'm gonna use just a paper towel with some alcohol. We don't want to unintentionally spread any infection between plants. Sometimes there may be something wrong, you know, that we can't see. And like if you use your shears on a plant that had a root rot, definitely clean your shears after that. You don't want to transfer any bacteria, okay? They should just have their own little happy space without worrying about us cross-contaminating them. All right, so keep some alcohol nearby, you guys. It's a big help when it comes to gardening. Super inexpensive ingredient. You can get some from the dollar store, okay? Had a couple that were dry. So this is one of the smaller planters that I was talking about. It kind of messes with my brain a little bit because it is a self-watering planter, but it just dries out so fast that it may as well not be. So if you get the naked root pots, I recommend using those ones for the plants that need a 6 or an 8-inch diameter pot. And some of you may be asking, how do I know? Okay, how do you know how big of a pot to use? That is going to be based on the size, like the circumference of the root ball, okay? If your root ball is, 3 inches in diameter, you don't want to go beyond a 5-inch pot. So give yourself 2 inches beyond the size of the root ball. You don't want to go more than 2 inches, okay? I actually, once upon a time, I oofed quite a few plants thinking, oh, if I put it in a larger planter, then it's gonna grow bigger. And that is not the case. What happens with that is that you'll have the root ball sitting in the middle, and there will be way too much soil all around it, okay? And all of the nutrients won't be able to reach the roots. It'll have a bigger chance of getting root rot, okay? And so we avoid that by making sure that an ample amount of air can reach those roots. And we do that by making sure it doesn't have too much soil around it, okay? So if your root ball is 5 inches in diameter, you're gonna go for a 7-inch pot, okay? So you've got a big old plant. It's got a 7-inch root ball, okay? Put it in a 9-inch pot. Don't go way too big, or else you're gonna do your plant more harm than good, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and add just a wee bit of plant food to this one. Just a very small container. And if you have not already liked this video and you're vibing out, I do request that you go ahead and hit that like button. We are a fairly new YouTube channel. We're working on getting built up, and we can't do that without you guys. So all of those taps, all those shares are most appreciated. Okay, and you see I put the water in the bottom, so it's going to absorb and get to the root system as needed, but the top is going to stay dry so that no fungus gnats feel like it's a good place to lay their eggs, okay? Nobody likes a house full of gnats. So annoying. All right, I'm going to just set that right there because we have some that need to go behind it. Where's everybody watching from right now? Y'all must just be vibing out watching me take care of these plants. I know a couple of y'all are working. Cutting off the leaves that are no longer serving the plant here. We should do that in our real life too. Cut off those leaves that are just sucking good energy out the plant and not contributing anything. Cutting that right on off. Plants are a lot like humans. It's pretty crazy how similar we are. We need food, water, air. I know a lot of people think that the roots just need that they just need water and food. But if those roots don't have air too, they will trigger that plant to just end it all. Just end it all. Let me see. We'll go ahead and cut this leaf off. It's a little sad. And they even look just better aesthetically when you keep them nice and cleaned up. This one is a philodendron Congo. Alright. And look, that thing is bone dry. Let's go ahead and give it a little feeding. It's been a minute for this one. Smiling, you sent me a screenshot of some storms moving through Florida. How's everything looking where you're located? Alright, once these start absorbing that water back up, this leaf right here is gonna open back on up for us. So is that. This is one of the more dramatic plants where the leaves will start to coil up when it's not happy. So they should be fine by this evening. It really doesn't take them much time to bounce back. Put that one back in the light where it was. It was happy there. That is good to go. Oh, wow. Well, this was an interesting find. Okay. So this here is a little baby Saiba tree. And I have an all white leaf. That's actually very rare with these. That is so dope. I've never had a white one grow in. Wow. So in a couple of the traditions that I practice spiritually, the Saiba tree is a very, very spiritually potent tree. Huge on the protection, huge on really supporting just about any intense work that we're trying to accomplish. And so this one is very spiritually significant to me. And the fact that it grew this white leaf is like crazy. I wish it would grow faster. Now, when these grow big, they actually grow big old spikes out of the trunk. But this one's just a little baby. So it usually takes about, I think it's about like 5 years of them growing before they start growing their spikes. So yeah, this one is brand spanking new. We'll give it a little bit of food, and hopefully that root ball can grow big enough so I can take it out of this little pot, because I really, really, really don't like the teeny tiny ones. They don't hold water long enough for me. But a lot of times when they're smaller, we have to give them more TLC anyways. It just messes with my head because I'm thinking since it's in a self-watering plant that I don't have to water as often, but they dry out so fast that I still do when they're in these small pots. A little Saiba tree. That one's a tropical plant too. And so I'm honestly surprised that it's even still alive here. For those who are just now tuning in and you're not familiar with me, I live in Arizona and have a love thing. Billy! I have a love thing for tropical plants. Billy likes to actually tease me because he's out in Florida where a lot of the plants that I just adore grow naturally. So he'll be out on a walk and be like, oh, look at this or that plant. I'd be like, man, give it to me. Give it to me. How you doing today, Billy? We're just vibing out, doing my plant chores. Not really talking about anything. Some simple plant care. I've got some that still needed a little TLC to bounce back after my son's stay in the hospital. You said all orders over $45 ship free. Don't be trying to have folks buy my plants, Billy. Are you at work right now, friend? Look, Salda was trying to get Billy to uproot a whole tree and send it to her. Oh my goodness. Then we'd be like, just playing. Unless you're gonna do it. One of those situations. In the kitchen. What y'all cooking today? I know your husband be there throwing down. Hey, Papa Boo Man, welcome back. Cleaning up after lunch, thinking about making some banana bread. I love banana bread. You know what I want? I want some bread pudding. Have you ever had that? So good to me. One of my friends growing up, I was always over at her place, and they're Puerto Rican, and her mom would always make the best freaking bread pudding. For my birthday, I always just requested a big old like baking dish of bread pudding. That was my not my Christmas present, my birthday present every year. And sometimes I did ask for it for Christmas. Yep. She always hooked me up. Said he made his cheesy protein pasta bolognese. Okay. When I went to Louisiana for the funeral, I ate a good ass bread pudding. Did you? I love bread pudding. So good. So good. All bread pudding is not created equal though. So it's nice when we run into a good one. And I think she spoiled me, to be honest with y'all, because after having hers, which was like my first, it was like I was super skeptical of all the others. I was so skeptical. Okay, so this bonsai, all right, it's coming back. All right, sometimes they'll go dormant, and this did that. And since it has the roots that are above the soil, I'm gonna go ahead and give it some sprinkle dinkles of water above the like from the top instead of doing the bottom. And in this case, by sprinkle dinkle, I mean I'm just gonna pour the shit out of some water on it. So that all the roots can have a chance to suck up a little love. I could probably use like a little spray bottle since it's a bonsai, but I told you I'm the queen of easy. And doing this has kept it alive thus far. So I'm not gonna change it. The bonsais are just a little bit different. They require a lot of love. We got a lot of little, I know it's hard to see, but we got a lot of little pieces starting to grow out of here. So this baby will be back full in no time. And as we move into the cooler months, okay, do not be afraid of grow lights. I honestly use them year round. Because y'all know there's half of the year where we don't get as much light, okay? And so for those plants that still need, a full 12 hours of light, especially like my tropical babies, I have to make sure I just keep a grow light going. And so all my tropical babies are definitely around the lights and the humidifiers more when we get into those colder months. Let me take this one back on over there. Feels nice and heavy. A lot of times you can tell if it has enough water in there by the weight of it. When they're super light, they tend to be bone dry. Let me see here. Shani just posted another episode. I'm gonna have to go check her out after this. For those who are not following our girl Rooting for More, she's part of the Woo fam. Okay. And she shows a lot of gardening content over on her page. It's at Rooting for More. I think actually Rootings for More. Yeah, check her out. She's a new page as well. It's been my ceremonial cacao, by the way. All right, so this plant right here, The Vente Batalla is a plant that is very near and dear to my heart spiritually. Let's see if I can get rid of a little bit of this dirt in the bottom here. Hold on one second, y'all. Somebody was trying to call me. Let me go ahead and share this to her so she can see what I'm doing. I know she's like, oh, I know she didn't just send me some voicemail. Sorry, girl. Had to happen. But yes, this one here is a plant that I will use whenever there is some type of a battle going on, so to speak. Okay, so say you're in a court battle, or you're in competition for a job at work and you have somebody who's being like really malicious and just trying to drag your name through the mud just for the heck of it. Okay, this is a plant that you can utilize in some of your workings to help you overcome obstacles, battles. Okay, this is another, I think this tree grows natively out there where, in Florida, where a couple of you guys are. I have mine right next to the freaking humidifier because I have this toxic love thing for the tropical babies. All right, so we're taking some more of our leafy plant food. A little sprinkle dinkle in the water. Vente Batalla. VENCEBATALLA. You could probably find the scientific name based off of that. But we do have the oil in the shop. Okay, we do have Vente Batalla intention oil that is full of this marvelous plant. It's actually a tree. Just a little small baby. And actually, let me cut off a little piece there. That's not really doing anything. And I'm really happy that this one is still here. Like I said, it's a tropical plant. When I first got it, I thought it was gone, y'all. This thing was bare. But I put some of the Southside root drops in there, like the ones that we have in the shop. I put some of those in there to give the roots a little boost. Okay, and it went from being completely bare, just looking like some sticks, sticks in a pot, to having all the leaves back on there again. So that made me happy. Let me go put this one back on over there. Got it in the one on the south side. I mean, not south side, the naked root planters. This next one, y'all, I'm a sucker for variegated leaves. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? The plant world is so dope. All right. I did have one. We have one loss. Let's cut it off. It's not loose enough to where it'll just fall off. And we don't want to create a larger wound on the plant than we have to. So, boom. Use our shears. Oh, and look, we even have a little baby already trying to open up. All right, so that leaf that's gone is being replaced. Oh, the variegation. I don't know if you guys can see it good, but the variegation's going to be crazy on that one. All right, let's go ahead and give it a little feeding. What's everybody doing right now besides vibing out with me? What time is it? 11:46. And if you've been enjoying yourself today and have not hit like on this video, I ask that you do, all right? Help us out. Show a little love with a like and some tippy taps. Especially those of you who are being super quiet. For those who are able, anyways. I know a couple of you are working and just vibing out, so I appreciate you. I understand that we can't always be active at a screen tapping. I get it. Hey, Made Creative, how are you? We're here vibing out. I'm doing some of my plant care at home and decided to share some of that process with you guys. So relaxing. How are you today? What are you up to? Got another bonsai we're finna love on. This is another one from out of Madagascar. Look at that. I love when they have the roots above the soil. Such a vibe. Give it a little sprinkle dinkle from the top there since it has those exposed roots. We'll let them get that nice shower of water so that they have an opportunity to absorb some, just like the ones that are underneath the soil. And sometimes a nice little spray bottle works for that too. Batch editing for our nomadics clients today. Dope. Y'all, if you are not already following Made Creative, her and her hubby do they do like content creation for different videos or for different companies to include their own. So definitely some folks you want to lock in with. They make some really cool content. I enjoy watching their work so much. Thank you for coming on and vibing with us today. He said, have you seen how to make the spider plant have exposed roots like that? No. What does that process look like, Billy? Oop, we're gonna dump some of the excess out of there. There we go. A little high maintenance bonsai. Thank you, Made Creative. I love my planty babies. It's therapeutic for me. Very therapeutic. You just take that moment and just enjoy the beauty of nature and get the grounding in whenever we're playing with the soul. And they add so much life to a space. Not to mention the fact with, you know, they help clean the air and all that. Lots of benefits to planting. I love them so much. Let me grab another one of the bonsais. This is another one of the ceiba trees. A little tropical baby. I'm so surprised that it's still growing. And look how they wired this one so that the trunk does little topsies and turves. Hold on. I'm actually gonna pour the excess water from in this into the plant, but I'm gonna do it over the trash can so that I don't make a mess. There we go. Let it get all that good love, all that good excess water that was in there. We put it to use. Look, water does not get wasted in here. I be telling my kids, if you get some water in your cup and you don't drink it all, you better pour it in the plant. Don't pour it down no daggone sink. Don't be wasting that good water, okay? Do not be wasting that good water. But yep, this is another one of the ceiba trees, which once again is very significant to me in my spiritual practice. All right, so it should be good to go for a few days. Hopefully I can get a little activity on the, you know what? That piece that was vinegar looks like it actually dried out. So I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. So when you have the little bald spots like that, taking the shears, I trimmed it down to right around where the node is, okay? So where a leaf would normally grow out of the plant, where it has that little bump, that's gonna be your node. And so I just trimmed it down on the node. And I'm going to put some Crazy Kiki cloning paste on it. This right here. We were talking about this yesterday in the shop. And it really does work wonders. I'm gonna show you guys another one of my plants that I used it on that's actually growing better now after using the Crazy Kiki cloning paste than when I first got it. I'll show you guys that in a moment. But let me show you how it works. Okay, so in your Crazy Kiki cloning paste package, you will receive the little jar of the growth hormone plus 5 sticks. Okay, one side of the stick has a diagonally flat side and the other is pointy. The pointy side is so that you can go to that node if need be and just do little scratches on there. You're making an incision so that when you flip it over, okay, and put some of the paste on that incision, it can actually absorb into the stem of the plant, okay? And so I already cut this down to the node. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and take that diagonally flat side. And look, you guys, you don't need a whole bunch. That's why the jar is so little. A little goes a long way, okay? So I'm just gonna take that itty bit right there and put it on the incision. And within a week and a half to 2 weeks, we're gonna have some leaves growing out of that node. Okay, so I'm just putting that on there and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna put it back where it was. It's got its water. Okay, I've got it over there in the lighting that it likes. And it's next to the humidifier because the Saiba plant is a tropical plant. So especially for those of us who are in drier climates, we wanna keep those tropical plants as close to a humidifier as possible, okay? So I'm taking this one back on over there. We're gonna bring over a nice easy care peperomia plant. Hey, Papa Wu Mei. And so we were talking about peperomias a little bit earlier, I'm sorry. For those who have a harder time keeping plants alive, or if you have a space such as a bathroom that doesn't have a whole lot of lighting, okay, but you want plants in there, peperomias are able to thrive in moderate lighting. They don't require a lot of watering. The way that their leaves are naturally helps them to retain water, okay? So your biggest problem with this, especially if you're a hoverer, is gonna be overwatering, okay? They don't need a whole bunch of water. If you have plants, okay, that have low water requirements and you keep on adding more, that water's just gonna sit on the bottom. It's gonna suffocate those roots. They're gonna get root rot and your plant's gonna, okay? We don't want those problems. You'll see on right here, I put the care instructions, okay, my little quick, I just used some what's that, masking tape? I just used a little thing of tape and wrote the instructions on there. Some of them I'm fancy and have a real tag, but other times I'm just like, hey, you got something, don't you? Sometimes it just is what it is, okay? And so this one, we don't have any on here that are too far gone. We even have some new, look, it's showing some little new babies coming in. right, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a bottom watering, a bottom feed for this plant, and we'll put it back. We don't have too much to do with this one. Once again, since the leaves are the star of the show when it comes to the peperomia, it's perfectly okay to use some of the leafy plant food like the one that we carry in the shop. Okay, this is something that I've used myself prior to bringing it to the shop. I always like to make sure that things work, you know what I mean? I don't want to give you guys something that's going to harm your plant babies. I would be devastated to try a new plant food or something and it like burn my plants. I'd be so upset. These are a physical representation of love. And so to have them after somebody told you something was great for them would be the absolute worst. So make sure I did not do that to you guys. And make sure I brought in a plant food to the shop that actually works on a wide variety of plants. All right, so with the bottom watering, I put the food in there already. I'm just gonna add the water to it right now. For those who missed it earlier, I prefer bottom watering, bottom feeding, because it keeps that top layer of the soil dry. When that top layer is moist, you're more prone to having fungus gnats lay their eggs, okay, in that top layer of your soil. So if it's dry, it's less appealing to them, okay? So I'm just gonna let that absorb just a tiny bit. Okay, and if your plant has not absorbed that water over the next 2 days, just throw the excess water out. We don't want it sitting. We don't want the water getting slimy. We don't want mosquitoes setting up shop, okay? Making sure that water is in the right places at the right times is going to be essential for making sure that your plants stay healthy and, you know, just reducing any pests in your indoor or outdoor garden, really. Let me take this back on over there. Next up, we've got our Stromanth Trio Star. Check out the bottoms of those leaves. Isn't that gorgeous? You guys, once upon a time, I didn't think I had a green thumb. And it was like after my grandma passed, it was like her green thumb just made its way on over to me, and now I can't get enough. I'm like, too many plants? No such thing. No such thing. Look, I even got green lipstick now. No such thing as too much. Don't get more than you can care for. I'll say that. Don't get more than you can care for. And if there are some that are like on the up and out, okay, be okay with letting them go sometimes. It shouldn't be the regular, okay? But we all have some plants that it's just not our jam, like, no matter what we try. Okay, sometimes that has to do with our environment. You know, like I said, I have a personal love thing for tropical plants, but I live in the desert. So there's been a couple where I'm like, you know what? I've tried this 2 or 3 times, and I'm not gonna bring home any more of that type of plant too. Okay? This one was already moist enough. So we're gonna just put it right back. This cutie baby right here recently had a bloom, which means that it was super happy. But then once the bloom was on its way out, I just went ahead and cut it off. I'm sure we'll get another one. When we get another one, I'll show it to you guys. But look, it's a happy one. We got new growth coming in right here. We've got another one coming in the middle right here. Just a happy baby. Now with these, okay, with the aglaonemas, the closer to the light source that they are, the more vibrant colored they'll be. So some of you guys who have been with us in the shop when we were doing plant care, you saw one white that I have is like super pink, okay? That one I keep really close to a grow light, and that's how it gets super pink like that. In addition to the food that I use, which is I use the leafy plant food on it, okay? This one here, I just give moderate lighting, so it's got a nice balanced amount of the pink and the green. Let me just cut off a little bit of dead material from off of here. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and use the leafy plant food again, okay? Y'all are seeing how many different plants I'm using this on. It really is a very diverse food. I'm not even gonna use this whole little spoonful. Probably gonna put like maybe half in there. You only have to use 1 spoonful for every liter of water. And I'm not putting a full liter of water in this tray. All right, so I still got some in there. This bag is gonna last you a long time. Welcome. Where's everybody watching from today? Y'all just quiet, vibing out with me. Planting is absolutely a vibe. Put that in a different spot. There we go. All right, we didn't have to do too much to this one. Actually, it's a little dusty. Let me go ahead and wipe those leaves down so it can properly photosynthesize. We have to play nature a little bit whenever we have indoor plants. Get the bottom of this other one. And these, the wipes that I'm using are the Southside Neem plant cleaning wipes. We do carry these in the shop. You like to wipe down the leaves. It makes them look nice, but in addition to that, it has the neem oil, which pests do not like. And making sure that those leaves are clean allows your plant to be able to absorb as much food and water as possible. All right? It allows it to better photosynthesize. So we like to make sure those stay nice and clean. And look, if you ever have like a pest infection on one of your plants and you do the whole spraying down, okay, with the whatever pesticide you like to use, don't you leave Timmy the Gnat just like all on the leaf, okay? Go in with some of the wipes. Timmy the Gnat done been through a lot. We're just gonna wipe them off and throw them in the trash can, okay? After any pest infection treatment, make sure you're giving them a good wipe down. I found one last week that had spider mites. It was like, it's a very dramatic thing whenever I find any pests. Like, it drives me crazy. I'm like, oh, you coming after my plant babies? Got your ass. Got your ass, Mr. Spider Mite. Okay, so this one right here is a prime example of why not to put a plant into too big of a potter. Look at this. I had a couple different. Hey, Fred. Mwah. I had a couple different plants in this one at first, but the other one oofed. And so this is all that was left. And this is actually way too much soil for such a plant that has a small root system. How are you doing today, friend? How's work going? Everybody's been popping in to see me in between working. I thank y'all so much for that. You know what? I am gonna go ahead and put this in a smaller pot so that I don't lose it. Let me see, what do we have available down here? See what I've got in my little stash. All right, we'll do a white one from Naked Root. That's what we're gonna repot that baby in, because I don't want to put it at risk any more than it has to be. All right, so we'll move our. You said, just glad I was able to pop on it. Yes, ma'am. I'm glad too. I'm glad too. You know what? Before I even continue with this, let me pull out a little tool that I like. Okay. Since I can't find my root recovery, we're gonna go ahead and just use since I can't find my root grow hormones, we're gonna use the repot recovery. I'm still mixing this bread. Gotta put some peace and love into it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wish I could taste some. That bread pudding sounds like love. Okay. And so I'm using this repot recovery because a lot of times when we move our plants homes, okay, they go into a little bit of shock. All right. And so this repot recovery helps those roots bounce back and not, be so dramatic about the move. And so I'm just going to use a little pinch. All right, we don't need too much. So we can stay in the good graces of this plant. He's making some banana bread. Oh, these roots are going all down there. Okay. Ooh. Look at that nice, thick, sexy root. Thick and sexy. Yes. All right, so let's put that. Yeah, that was definitely too big of a pot. Remember how I was saying earlier, we don't want a pot that's more than 2 inches wider than the diameter of the root ball, okay? Right, big old roots. And so us moving this plant to a smaller pot now that it's by itself will make this plant grow a lot quicker, okay? It's quite the opposite. A lot of people think, oh, if I put my plant in a bigger pot, it'll grow bigger. That's not the case. You're actually stunning its growth because those roots they don't get access to all the water that you're putting in there. They don't get access to the proper amount of air that they need. See, it even looks better in the smaller pot. I love the contrast of the white pot with the pink leaves. This is the same type of plant as the last one I showed you, the aglaonema. Isn't that beautiful? And so yeah, this one's gonna be a lot happier in the small pot where it gets access to everything that putting in there. Here they're making banana bread with love. He get that good stirring arm going. I see you, Billy. Not us here vibing out, planting and making banana bread. I love it. I love our crew, y'all. Our family. Keep my heart full. Y'all keep my heart full. All right. I'm going to end up putting this soil into a bag. It's really good soil still. I just didn't need all of it for the little plant that was in there. So I'll put that back into a bag in a moment. Hey, Papa Wu Maine. My mother-in-law always making low-fat, sugar-free, gluten-free. Today we eating the real thing. I heard that, Billy. I heard that. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me add a little water into my pots here. I'm gonna also add a little food in here. Is work going good, friend? You got just a couple more hours left, right? What's for lunch? Tell me your lunch business. I still remember that. Girl. Okay, you guys. So, Myra was over here, and we were talking about something. What were we talking about? But it was just like, I know I was talking about the health of one of the plants. And then it just like, the leaf just fell like real dramatic type, like a testament to like, yeah, I am struggling. I am. Look at this. It was just so dramatic because I'm talking about the plant and then it just like dropped the big old leaf. Like, yeah, that's right. I am suffering. Now, what are you going to do about it? It was funny. It was one of those you had to be there moments. Very dramatic plant moment, okay? We have a good time. A lot of times, yeah, I'll just put on some music. I'll be over here playing, with my incense going, watering my plants. Since I'm on here with you guys, I have to play non-copyrighted music. So that's why I don't have my usual tunes. It's not allowed here. But I found a couple cool stations that made it do what it do. We were struggling this weekend on here we were in the shop trying to find some copyright-free music. It was horrible. I was like, oh no, this is making me sleepy. But I found a couple nice channels that let people use their music for free. Right, the world is cruel. Plop. That plant was so dramatic with it. I was like, oh my gosh, really? While we have company, you're just gonna drop a leaf like that? It was crazy. Crazy. Let's see what else we have over here. Okay, so I have this. It doesn't look like much, but it's trying to do a thing. It's trying to do a thing. When I first got it, it only had one leaf. Okay, this is a variegated Dieffenbachia, but now it's got 4. Dun, da, da, da. I'm such a sucker for some good variegation on the leaves. Look at that one. Hold on. I think I need to put this in a different pot because this pot it's in is not good. Look at the crazy shit that nature does, you guys. Like, what even is that? It's so dope. But yeah. Oh, and look, it is time. It is indeed time for a new pot for this one. I didn't even see that at first. Oh, you want to see how the one's doing that you gave me, Myra? Let me show you guys before we move on to that one. I never put it into soil. And look at it now. It's so happy. It's over here by King Fafo. And actually, let me add some water into here. Yeah. I just found a nice little container to keep it in the water. And they're both in here actually. This is, hold on. Let me untangle. They both are all hugging one another. So here's the one that started off super itty bitty, growing nice and long. Oh, and then it drops. Oh no. Hold on. Get back over here. It's like, leave me alone. It said, leave me alone. All right, I'm putting it back. Tried to hop out there. Okay. Yeah, it's loved. So loved. Let me see if I have another medium-sized pot right here that I can do a repot in. There's a small. You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me go triple check the garage. I bought the parent of that plant, then gave it to a friend. The friend moved across the country and gave it back to me. Right, that's exactly what the leaf said. And look, and then you passed them on to me. We'll just call it the friend plant. Yep, that leaf was done with me, honey. It was like, I cannot. Give me 1 second. I need to grab a medium potter. All right, well, I guess I'm out of them. That's so sad. There we go, the friend plant. All right, I'll put it in a different pot than I had planned. I wanted to use another one of the naked root ones. But I guess I used them all the ones that I had. Okay. Well, either way, this is going to get a new pot. bread is in the oven. Yay! Okay, I had a plant that was given to me, oof, and come to find out, it had rocks in the bottom of it, which in some cases is okay. In this case, I believe it's the reason why the plant oofed. Those roots could not get any oxygen, and the type of plant that was in there, those roots need a lot of oxygen. And so when we're blocking that, not good. Sometimes people may add a few rocks in there to try and, in a weird way, like break up the soil. But breaking up the soil doesn't matter if it can't breathe. So one thing that I like to use, this is just a really good teaching point, because I was like, man, what happened to that plant? Like, because, you know, I'm pretty good at keeping them alive. I did not realize that they had freaking rocks in the bottom. One thing that I like to use when I have plants that need extra aeration is I like to use the Southside Ropey Root Potting Mix. You can use it by itself, or if you have a soil that you know the plant likes, or that you just personally prefer, you can absolutely mix some of this into it to break up the soil and make sure that the air is getting through, okay? Yeah, breaking up the soil does nothing if the plant still cannot breathe, all right? And there was way too many rocks. There's a lot of rocks in this. So yeah, it was pretty much like that plant trying to survive in rocks, and that plant was not made for that. Okay, I wish I'd known that sooner, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and, let me see. I'm gonna add a little sprinkle dinkle of this just to the bottom. Because the plant that I'm putting in there does like very airy soil. Okay, and sometimes I do a little mix and match because like the coconut, that doesn't necessarily have a whole bunch of nutrients in there. And so a lot of times I'll mix it in with the soil that does, you know, have a little bit of love, some nutrients, some vitals in there, okay? So that's what I'm doing with this. From that pot where I had where the other plant was, where it was too much, I'm just gonna reuse some of this right now. It's perfect. I love it when it works out like that. Okay. Let me scoot a couple things over here. How long does the bread, the banana bread take to cook, Billy? I legit wish I was there to taste it. I know Billy made that with love. He put his elbow into it. All right, so we got our variegated Dieffenbachia. Ooh, I'm so sad that those roots are out there like that. Hopefully they can come up without too much damage. Let's see. See what we got going on. You see how chunky and airy? Hold on. Try not to make a mess. See how chunky and airy that mix is that I have it in? It went from having one leaf to 4 beautifully variegated leaves in that chunky, airy soil. All right, we're pulling it on out. We're pulling it out. Ooh, I just made a big old mess, but that's part of the fun. All right. They're right there. You say you got your meditation book and your Rambler paste and the honey brew. About to have a good time on the patio. I heard that, Billy. Your patio looks so peaceful. And I'm grateful that you use those products from the shop to help you have those nice, just peaceful moments, you know? I'm glad we're able to do that for people. Makes my heart happy. All right. So this is one of the reasons why I like using the Velcro to secure my plants onto the stakes. It's reusable. It doesn't harm the stems. Okay, you can move it around as need be. So like right now, when I'm repotting, okay, I can just scoot it to a new location on the stake and the plant and keep it moving. You said the amount of fun is commensurate to the amount of mess. Big facts, friend. Big facts. And I am indeed getting my grounding in right now. Okay, look, you guys. Planning is so therapeutic. Love it, love it, love it. Here we go. Oh, I feel like the mist from the humidifier coming over here. That thing is pumping, y'all. Let me see. Can y'all see it in the... No, you can't really see the mist coming up. I can see it here, but it's not easy to see it. Well, you can see it a little bit. There we go. That thing is going. That one's I have it on the automatic setting so that it can adjust throughout the day. Because, you know, here in Arizona, we get like a lot of temperature fluctuations. What's up, Papa Wu Main? Get a lot of temperature fluctuations. So, all right, there we go. I feel like I need to secure this just a bit more. That stick keeps on trying to move. Oh, friend, Myra, this is one of the sticks that you gave me. I told you I could absolutely use it as a stake. Said a couple of friends have sent me the Godzilla mister and I need one. I haven't seen that. Activated charcoal chunks helps aerate soil and prevent some molds. Absolutely. And so the kind that it was just in before I repotted has some chunks of that too. You're absolutely right, Billy. And you know what? I'm gonna put some in there. Some more in there, should I say. Get some of these big chunks out. We got leca balls in this mix. Okay, yeah, I look forward to seeing that. The Godzilla mister. It's a nice big old piece of the activated charcoal. Said when I first came across Madam Wu, I assumed Papa Wu was a Lord. Little did you know he's a 6 foot tall, big, bald black man. 50 to 60 minutes for the bread. Nice. Oh, good, friend, because I have a couple here that need some extra support. They got a little gangster lean going on. So, yes, I will absolutely take those off of your hands. Thank you. Let me see. All right. And then I'm going to put this one. Okay, so this is important, okay? A lot of people will remove their plants from the nursery style planter and put them straight into a pretty planter that doesn't have any drainage. If you do that, you're setting your plants up for root rot, okay? You want to take the nursery style planter and put it inside of the pretty pot. You can add your water in the bottom, do your bottom watering in a pot like this, okay? Put your water in there, put the food in there, and put the plant on top so it can do its thing, all right? The roots are getting the water it needs. The top is staying nice and dry so fungus gnats aren't putting their little skimpy baby eggs, okay, into your soil. It's a deterrent, okay? They like the moisture. So when there's no moisture in that soil, they're like, I'm not gonna bump nasties and put my eggs there, okay? So for you, that means less or no gnats. Okay, cool. Thank you, friend. Say, yeah, I'm old school, still do it by hand, $300 mixer under the cabinet. It's just something about doing things like that by hand. I feel you, Billy. I feel you. Since we just did do a repot, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of that repot recovery that I just showed you guys. I do plan on getting some of this in the shop really soon here. All right, and so those of you who vibe out with me pretty often know that I do plan on, walking everybody through indoor gardening through the winter time. Okay, so get you some plants picked out. We're gonna be vibing inside, being cozy inside with our plants. I'll go ahead and put my water in the planter that does not have any holes, okay? And then we put the nursery style pot in the planter. Boom. What? I love my green lipstick with this plant. Such a dope. You said it's so humid here. I'm swimming out here. Look, it's so dry out here. It's horrible. It's horrible. Let's see what else we got going on. That one's okay. Got another peperomia. This peperomia doesn't need any water, but I'm going to show it to you guys anyways, because I get a lot of questions, of people wanting plants that are easy to care for. And peperomias, they come in quite a few different varieties, and they're super easy to maintain. Let me clean up my mess that I made right here, and then I'll be able to show you guys a little bit easier. Put my crazy Kiki cloning paste back, because we had a bald-headed plant baddie that needed some TLC, so we put the crazy Kiki cloning paste on it. Now we're done, so we're putting it back in the little caddy there. Oh, I almost forgot to put my little label in there. Give me 1 second. Let me put this with the plant, okay? My labels travel with the plants. All right, so put that right there. I feel like comments are like 5-minute delayed. They might be, who knows? The interwebs be doing what they want to do sometimes. Let me see. I don't think I have a use for this pot anymore. Honestly, when I get a chance to, and I'm doing my repots, I try to put them in the clear ones so I can keep a better eye on the roots. Like with this one, had I had it in a clear pot, I would have known that the root system was taking over and that it was time to repot before everything was coming out the bottom, which put it at risk of getting upset with me, moving it and trying to thread those from out of the holes. Okay, so yeah, when everything's in a clear pot, it's just so much easier to keep track of. And look at all the rocks, you guys. All the rocks that was in that one. It wasn't a little pot too. It was mostly freaking rocks in there. Those are going in the trash. I could throw them outside, but it's hot, so I'm not. We'll add some nature to the landfill. How about that? Yeah, we have the clear ones in the shop. Yep, I should have brought some home. I didn't realize that I was going to end up doing a repot with you guys today, but like this is an example of one. And so it's really easy to see. Like, my rule is when the roots take over 80% of the planter, or when they're coming out of it. Okay, that's when it's time for a repot. This one here is another type of peperomia. Okay, it has different shapes and leaves than the other ones that I showed y'all. me get some of those dead ones out. But this is a great plant for those low, moderate light places in the house, such as, yeah, I just pulled that whole thing out. That's what happens when I try and pull instead of using the shears like I was telling you guys to do. Y'all saw exactly why I should have used the shears. Pull the whole damn plant out. But yeah, these are excellent in like low, moderate light environments, such as a lot of people's bathrooms, or if if your home doesn't have a nice south-facing window, and you still want plants in the other places, the peperomia is going to be a really easy to care for option. I'm going to have to repot this. Well, it's going to be in the same pot, but yeah, I did not mean to pull the whole thing out. I did not mean to do that. Oh, hold on. Do that there. All right, and with that, I'm going to alive on herbs. Absolutely. Like one talking about the medicinal properties, or like growing herbs. You got to be specific with me because we do it all. We do it all over here. I'm going to put this in a little bit deeper. And I'm going to put some of the repot recovery in there. Both of them? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll do the live, the live from the shop where we have all the herbs at. We'll go through and talk about which ones are good for what. And then we can do the live about growing the herbs here at the house. All right, let me go ahead and add some. What time is it? All right, I'm still good on time. Gotta head out to start getting kids in a little bit. But we got about 20 more minutes. 20 more minutes. Doing this quick repot here. And you guys, when you repot your plants, you don't gotta don't push the soil down, okay? If you want to make sure it's going to the bottom, you can give it a nice little shake, but you don't want to compact the soil to the point where the roots get suffocated when you water them, okay? You still want to let a good amount of air make its way through the soil. There we go. And we're just going to go ahead and give it a little bit of the leafy plant food because, once again, this is a plant where the leaves are the star of the show. Okay, I'm making it easy for you guys to remember. So when you get this plant food, we do have this one in the shop, by the way. When you get this plant food, you're gonna be like, oh man, can I use this plant food on this plant? And then you're gonna remember me saying, yes, because this one here is where the leaves are the star of the show, and you're gonna be like, yes, I can use this plant food on this plant. Watch. It's gonna be your inner plant voice. And we're just gonna sprinkle dinkle a little bit there in the tray. Okay. And honestly, when you're doing a repot, it is okay to do a nice deep top watering that first time around. But I think with as moist as the soil is that I put in there already, I think it'll be fine with me just doing a bottom water. Not finna give those fungus gnats anything to lay their little stanky baby eggs in. Little funk ass baby eggs. You see this? This is why I keep a little tray under me. There we go. All right. And then we'll put its little tag back in there. All right. And go on about our business. I'm gonna put it on back. Let me show y'all a really cute one up next here. This one is a pink princess philodendron. It doesn't really need too much. The soil's already moist on there. And that's what I mean by just paying attention to the plant, seeing how it's acting, checking out the soil, okay? You can't just be like, oh, these need to be watered every 3 days. If the soil is already moist, just leave it alone, okay? Isn't that beautiful? Look at the pinks on that. This one's probably gonna end up, let me see. It's got some time. See? We don't have a whole lot of root action taking over the pot yet. And this is nice because you don't have to actually remove the plant from the pot and disturb the roots to be able to see them, okay? Just look straight through the planter. And of course, if you don't want to keep it like this, you know, you can put it in a little fancy pot, all right? But I'm fine with seeing the soil on a few of them. I switch it up a little bit, you know what I mean? And then, like how I was talking about the information that I like to put on the labels, like on the front, I just have the name, right? That's at a minimum what you want on your labels. Labels will, you guys, especially when you have a whole bunch of plants, they're gonna work wonders for you, okay? So at a minimum, have the name on there. So if you walk by and it's being a little dramatic, you know what you need to do to get it back on track, okay? But you can be a little extra, okay, like me. Like this one here, lights bright, indirect light. It likes an aeroid mix for the soil. 50 to 70% humidity is its preference. So this is one that I do keep next to the humidifier. And then it doesn't like anything under 65 degrees. And it doesn't like anything over 85 degrees. So this is one that I cannot put outside here in Arizona, okay? Because it by far gets over 85 degrees with less than 50 to 70% humidity, okay? So this is one that would not survive outside here in Arizona. I do need to keep this inside in a controlled environment. And because of this, say wintertime comes and it's cold on the window that I have in here, okay? And it starts looking a little sad, I'll just look at the tag, okay, and be like, okay, it's too cold for you right here. Let me move you next to a grow light that's, you know, a little more towards the inside of the house where it's not so cold by a window, okay? Super easy troubleshooting, super easy. And we do have, we have some acrylic tags like this here. And those are nice too because, so I love the wood, okay? But the thing about them is that they eventually over time will like decompose a little bit, okay? Because it's wood and it's in dirt, all right? So if you want them to like last forever, ever, I know some of y'all have plants for like 20 years, okay? If you want it to last that 20 years, you could use one of the acrylic ones like we have. But yeah, I mean, these last a while. I haven't had any true issues with them. But yeah, if you want some of that forever, ever action, you can use some of the kind like we have at the shop. Hey, Papa Wu Main. He's with the eyes. All right. And yeah, this one was already moist, so it didn't need any more water. Oh, I just got some on the bottom. Let me wipe that off with a paper towel. So I'm not making a mess. Messy mess. All right, you guys. So we made it through quite a few of the plants today. And I've been on for a while. So what I'm thinking is to go ahead and continue probably over the next 2 days. Just doing some plant care with you guys here from the house. We'll also be tuning in from the shop in the evenings. But yeah, I've got probably about 2 other big sections of plants that I can bring over here and work on with you guys. So let's plan on that for tomorrow. I do want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today, vibing out while I took care of my planty babies. All right. we'll be back either tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll see. We'll just play by ear. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe. All right. If you have not already liked the video that you're watching right now, please like that. Run us up. Run our hours up. We are working on getting monetized. Okay. And so I'll be pushing out more content all throughout the week. Please watch the videos in their entirety. You can even go to the playlist and just, let them play in the background. Just vibe out with us. Okay. But yeah, either way, thank you for hanging out with me today, sharing your beautiful energy with the collective, and we will see y'all later, okay? Y'all stay blessed.